The sun rose on a bright Saturday morning, casting a warm golden glow over the campus. Excitement buzzed in the air as families and friends gathered to celebrate a very special event. Graduation day. Students wore their caps and gowns, and the sound of laughter filled the atmosphere. Among the crowd was Sarah, a white mother who had worked hard to reach this moment. She was about to graduate from college, and she couldn't have been prouder. Sarah had always dreamed of earning her degree. She wanted to show her newborn daughter that anything was possible with determination. Just a few months earlier, she had given birth, and the challenges of being a new mom while completing her studies had been overwhelming. However, she was determined to be both a mother and a graduate. She wanted to prove that love and hard work could help her achieve her goals. As Sarah arrived at the university, she felt a mix of joy and nerves. The campus was decorated with colorful banners, and the smell of fresh flowers filled the air. Parents snapped photos of their graduates, capturing memories that would last a lifetime. Sarah looked at her baby girl, Emma, peacefully sleeping in her carrier. Sarah smiled, knowing that this day would be unforgettable for both of them. Sarah's best friend, Maria, approached her with a big smile. "You made it. I can't believe graduation day is finally here," she exclaimed, pulling Sarah into a hug. Maria had supported Sarah throughout her studies, helping her whenever she needed it. They had studied late into the night and shared many laughs along the way. "I couldn't have done it without you," Sarah replied, her eyes sparkling with gratitude. Maria looked at Emma and added, "Are you really bringing her with you on stage? People might talk." "I know they might, but I want Emma to be a part of this moment. She's my biggest motivation," Sarah explained. Maria nodded, understanding her friend's determination, but still feeling worried. As they walked toward the main area, Sarah couldn't help but notice the mixture of reactions from those around her. Some people smiled and waved, while others looked surprised to see a newborn at graduation. Sarah held her head high, determined not to let anyone's opinion affect her. They reached the main stage, where graduates were lining up to receive their diplomas. The energy in the air was electric, and Sarah felt a surge of excitement. She imagined herself walking across the stage, diploma in hand, with Emma by her side. But deep down, she also felt a knot of anxiety in her stomach. What would people say? Would they think she was making a mistake? Just then, Sarah overheard a group of students talking nearby. "Did you see that mom bringing her baby to graduation? How strange," one of them said. Sarah's heart sank. She wanted to shout back, "This is my moment too." But she stayed silent, holding Emma a little closer. Maria noticed Sarah's discomfort and said, "Don't listen to them. They don't understand what you've been through." Sarah appreciated her friend's support, but still felt the weight of judgment in the air. She wanted this day to be perfect, not just for her but for Emma too. As the ceremony began, the crowd settled down, and the speakers took the stage. The university president welcomed everyone and shared stories of determination and success. Each word inspired Sarah, reminding her of the long nights she had spent studying and the sacrifices she had made. The excitement grew as they announced the names of graduates, one by one. When Sarah's name was finally called, her heart raced. She squeezed Emma gently, feeling a rush of love and pride. This was the moment she had dreamed of, the moment she would show Emma that hard work pays off. As she walked toward the stage, she could feel the eyes of the audience on her. Some were curious, while others whispered among themselves. When she reached the stage, the dean greeted her with a smile. "Congratulations, Sarah. You've worked so hard for this moment," he said, handing her the diploma. Sarah felt a wave of emotion wash over her. She had done it. She had earned her degree, and now she was sharing this moment with her daughter. As Sarah turned to face the audience, she held Emma up high, showcasing the little girl who had motivated her every step of the way. The crowd erupted in applause, and Sarah felt a sense of belonging. In that moment, she realized that her journey was not just about her. It was about the love and support that surrounded her. However, not everyone was cheering. Sarah noticed a few people still whispering and pointing. They don't get it, she thought. They don't know what it took to be here today. But she was determined not to let their negativity ruin her moment. She smiled brightly and soaked in the applause, feeling proud of who she was and what she had achieved. As the ceremony continued, Sarah felt her confidence grow. She had chosen to bring Emma, and that decision was a testament to her strength as a mother. She knew that this day was not just about her graduation. It was about setting an example for her daughter. With the diploma in hand and Emma in her arms, Sarah looked forward to the future. She hoped to inspire other mothers to follow their dreams, no matter the obstacles. As the final speakers wrapped up their speeches, Sarah's heart swelled with joy. Today was a celebration of hard work, love, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. As she walked back to her seat, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. No matter what others thought, she knew that she had made the right choice. This day was just the beginning of a new chapter for her and Emma, one filled with endless possibilities and hope. The unexpected visitor. As the graduation ceremony came to a close, excitement lingered in the air. Graduates and their families filled the campus, taking photos and celebrating the milestones achieved. Sarah, still riding the high from her moment on stage, held Emma close and smiled at the joy around her. People were congratulating her, and she felt a rush of happiness. She had done it, and now everyone around her knew it. After the ceremony, Sarah and Maria decided to take a walk around the campus. "Let's get some pictures by the fountain," Maria suggested. "You know, to capture this day forever." Sarah nodded enthusiastically, grateful for her friend's support. They made their way to the fountain, where the sound of splashing water created a peaceful atmosphere. The sun shone brightly, making everything look vibrant and alive. Sarah felt like she was in a dream. As they took pictures, a couple of fellow graduates approached them. "Hey, Sarah, congrats on graduating," one of them shouted, giving her a thumbs up. She beamed at the recognition. It felt amazing to have her hard work acknowledged, especially after all the doubts she had faced. After the photos, Sarah noticed Maria looking around. "What's up?" she asked. "I thought I saw someone I knew," Maria replied, scanning the crowd. "Just a sec. I'll be right back." While Maria wandered off, Sarah took a moment to relax on a nearby bench. She glanced down at Emma, who was peacefully sleeping, a small smile gracing her lips. "You did it, little one," she whispered. "We did it." But just as Sarah started to daydream about the future, her moment of peace was interrupted. A tall man in a dark suit approached her. He looked serious and held a clipboard. "Excuse me, are you Sarah?" he asked, his voice deep and formal. "Yes, I am," she replied, her heart racing. She had never seen this man before, and his presence made her uneasy. "I'm with the university's event staff. I need to speak with you," he said, glancing around as if checking for someone. "Is everything okay?" Sarah asked, feeling a knot form in her stomach. "Let's talk over here." He gestured to a quieter spot away from the crowd. Curiosity and concern tugged at her. As they moved, Sarah's mind raced with possibilities. Was something wrong? Had someone complained about her bringing Emma to graduation? Once they reached a quieter area, the man spoke again. "I know this is a strange moment, but I need to tell you that there's a situation regarding your presence today." Sarah felt her heart sink. "What do you mean?" "I'm not here to cause trouble," he said quickly, noticing her worried expression. "Actually, I've been asked to relay something important. You see, the university's president was very impressed with your speech and your determination. He would like to invite you to speak at a special event next month." As Sarah turned to face the audience, she held Emma up high, showcasing the little girl who had motivated her every step of the way. The crowd erupted in applause, and Sarah felt a sense of belonging. In that moment, she realized that her journey was not just about her. It was about the love and support that surrounded her. However, not everyone was cheering. Sarah noticed a few people still whispering and pointing. "They don't get it," she thought. "They don't know what it took to be here today. But she was determined not to let their negativity ruin her moment. She smiled brightly and soaked in the applause, feeling proud of who she was and what she had achieved. As the ceremony continued, Sarah felt her confidence grow. She had chosen to bring Emma, and that decision was a testament to her strength as a mother. She knew that this day was not just about her graduation. It was about setting an example for her daughter. With the diploma in hand and Emma in her arms, Sarah looked forward to the future. She hoped to inspire other mothers to follow their dreams, no matter the obstacles. As the final speakers wrapped up their speeches, Sarah's heart swelled with joy. Today was a celebration of hard work, love, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. As she walked back to her seat, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. No matter what others thought, she knew that she had made the right choice. This day was just the beginning of a new chapter for her and Emma, one filled with endless possibilities and hope. The unexpected visitor. As the graduation ceremony came to a close, excitement lingered in the air. Graduates and their families filled the campus, taking photos and celebrating the milestones achieved. Sarah, still riding the high from her moment on stage, held Emma close and smiled at the joy around her. People were congratulating her, and she felt a rush of happiness. She had done it, and now everyone around her knew it. After the ceremony, Sarah and Maria decided to take a walk around the campus. "Let's get some pictures by the fountain," Maria suggested. To capture this day forever." Sarah nodded enthusiastically, grateful for her friend's support. They made their way to the fountain, where the sound of splashing water created a peaceful atmosphere. The sun shone brightly, making everything look vibrant and alive. Sarah felt like she was in a dream. As they took pictures, a couple of fellow graduates approached them. "Hey, Sarah, congrats on graduating," one of them shouted, giving her a thumbs up. She beamed at the recognition. It felt amazing to have her hard work acknowledged, especially after all the doubts she had faced. After the photos, Sarah noticed Maria looking around. "What's up?" she asked. "I thought I saw someone I knew," Maria replied, scanning the crowd. "Just a sec. I'll be right back." While Maria wandered off, Sarah took a moment to relax on a nearby bench. She glanced down at Emma, who was peacefully sleeping, a small smile gracing her lips. "You did it, little one," she whispered. "We did it." But just as Sarah started to daydream about the future, her moment of peace was interrupted. A tall man in a dark suit approached her. He looked serious and held a clipboard. "Excuse me, are you Sarah?" he asked, his voice deep and formal. "Yes, I am," she replied, her heart racing. She had never seen this man before, and his presence made her uneasy. "I'm with the university's event staff. I need to speak with you," he said, glancing around as if checking for someone. "Is everything okay?" Sarah asked, feeling a knot form in her stomach. "Let's talk over here." He gestured to a quieter spot away from the crowd. Curiosity and concern tugged at her. As they moved, Sarah's mind raced with possibilities. Was something wrong? Had someone complained about her bringing Emma to graduation? Once they reached a quieter area, the man spoke again. "I know this is a strange moment, but I need to tell you that there's a situation regarding your presence today." Sarah felt her heart sink. "What do you mean?" "I'm not here to cause trouble," he said quickly, noticing her worried expression. "Actually, I've been asked to relay something important. You see, the university's president was very impressed with your speech and your determination. He would like to invite you to speak at a special event next month." Sarah blinked, stunned. "Me? Why?" "Your story has resonated with many, and we believe it can inspire others," he explained. "This could be a great opportunity for you and for others who are facing challenges similar to yours." As he spoke, Sarah's initial fears began to fade. Instead, a sense of hope filled her. "I'd be honored," she said, her voice steadying. "But why didn't anyone tell me before?" The man smiled. "They wanted it to be a surprise, but you'll need to prepare a short speech about your journey." We believe it could encourage many young mothers and students facing difficulties. Wow, that sounds incredible, Sarah replied, her excitement bubbling up. Thank you for this opportunity. Just remember, it's about sharing your story and encouraging others, he added. It can make a difference. After their conversation, Sarah returned to the crowd, feeling lightheaded with joy. Maria was waiting for her. What was that all about? She asked, eyes wide with curiosity. I just got invited to speak at a special event, Sarah exclaimed, unable to contain her excitement. Are you serious? That's amazing. Maria cheered, throwing her arms around Sarah in a tight hug. The moment was interrupted by a sudden commotion nearby. A group of people had gathered, looking shocked. What's going on over there? Maria asked, pointing. Without a second thought, Sarah and Maria moved toward the crowd. Emma nestled securely in Sarah's arms. As they got closer, they saw a young woman standing in the middle, crying and shaking. The woman had a baby in her arms, and her face was pale with distress. What happened? Sarah asked, her heart racing with concern. She lost her wallet, someone shouted. And she needs it to get home. Her bus leaves soon. Sarah felt a wave of empathy for the woman. She remembered her own struggles earlier in the day. Let's help her, she said to Maria. We can look around. They both began asking people if they had seen a wallet, and Sarah felt the sense of urgency grow. This woman needed help, and she wanted to do something. Suddenly, she heard a familiar voice behind her. Is everything okay? It was the tall man from earlier. A woman lost her wallet, Sarah explained, her eyes pleading for assistance. I'll help spread the word, he said, quickly moving through the crowd. While they searched, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of connection she had with the young mother. They were both navigating motherhood, and it was clear they shared similar struggles. She wanted to do more than just help find the wallet. She wanted to uplift this woman in her moment of need. After what felt like an eternity, someone finally shouted, I found it. A woman stepped forward, holding up a wallet with a big smile. Relief washed over the crowd as the young mother rushed forward to grab her wallet, tears streaming down her face. Thank you. Thank you so much, she cried, hugging the woman who found her wallet. As the atmosphere shifted back to joy, Sarah felt a sense of satisfaction. She realized that her graduation day wasn't just about her achievements. It was about the connections she made and the help they offered to others. As they left the scene, Maria nudged Sarah. You really have a knack for bringing people together. Sarah smiled, feeling proud. It's what we do, isn't it? We lift each other up. With the day winding down, Sarah looked at Emma, who had begun to stir. She felt grateful for the surprises and challenges that lay ahead. Today was more than just a graduation. It was a reminder that in the midst of life's uncertainties, kindness and connection could create the most beautiful memories. Little did she know, this day would lead her on a path she never anticipated, filled with opportunities and unexpected visitors. A new beginning. The sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink as Sarah and Maria made their way back to the car. Sarah felt a wave of exhaustion wash over her, but also a deep sense of fulfillment. Today had been a whirlwind of emotions, from joy to concern, and back to joy again. Are you ready to head home? Maria asked, glancing at Emma, who had fallen asleep in Sarah's arms. I can't believe how much has happened today. You graduated, got invited to speak at an event, and even helped a woman in need. What a day. Sarah smiled, her heart swelling with pride. I know. It's like a dream. I never expected to have such an impact, even just by being here. As they reached the car, Sarah carefully placed Emma in her car seat, ensuring her little one was comfortable. Maria opened the door, and they both settled in. The car's air conditioning felt refreshing against their skin, easing the warmth from the day. On the drive home, Maria excitedly recounted the highlights of the graduation ceremony. Did you see the look on the president's face when you finished your speech? He looked so proud of you. Sarah chuckled, feeling a mixture of disbelief and pride. It still feels surreal. I just shared my story, and to think it resonated with people so much. As they drove through the familiar streets, Sarah's mind drifted to the upcoming speaking engagement. What would she say? How could she inspire others who might feel lost, like she once did? When they arrived home, Sarah noticed a black SUV parked across the street. A knot formed in her stomach, but she quickly dismissed the feeling. It's probably just someone visiting a neighbor, she reassured herself. After saying goodbye to Maria, who promised to call later, Sarah stepped into her home. It felt peaceful. She placed her bag down and gently laid Emma in her crib, watching her sleep. Just as she turned to make herself a cup of tea, she heard a knock at the door. The sound echoed in the quiet house. Sarah hesitated, the knot in her stomach tightening again. She walked slowly to the door, peeking through the peephole. Her heart skipped a beat when she saw the tall man in the dark suit standing outside. What does he want? She wondered, a mix of anxiety and curiosity bubbling inside her. Taking a deep breath, she opened the door. "Hello. Can I help you?" she asked cautiously. The man smiled warmly. "Hi, Sarah. I hope I'm not interrupting. I wanted to follow up on our conversation from earlier. I have some more details about the speaking engagement." "Oh, yes, of course. Come in," she replied, stepping aside to let him enter. He walked in, looking around the modest living room. "You have a lovely home," he remarked, his gaze landing on the crib where Emma slept peacefully. "Thank you," Sarah said, her heart racing slightly. "I didn't expect to see you again so soon." The man nodded, his expression serious. "I wanted to discuss your speech and also share something important. It's about your story and how it could impact many others." Sarah sat down on the couch, her hands resting nervously on her knees. "What do you mean?" "Well," he began, choosing his words carefully, "your journey as a young mother and student has already inspired many at the university. We believe your story can also resonate outside the campus. We're looking to feature you in a series of motivational talks." Sarah felt a surge of excitement mixed with fear. "Really? Me? In a series?" "Yes. We want to document your journey and how you overcame challenges. It's a unique perspective, and we believe it can help others in similar situations," he explained. "Wow," she breathed, processing the information. "I'm honored, but also a bit nervous. Speaking in front of so many people is daunting." The man smiled reassuringly. "That's completely normal. We will help you prepare. We can even practice together if you'd like. Your voice matters, and you can touch lives with your story." Just then, a soft whimper broke the moment. Sarah jumped up, rushing to the crib as Emma began to stir. "Sha, it's okay, sweetheart," she cooed gently, picking her up. The man watched with interest as Sarah held Emma close, rocking her gently. "She's beautiful," he said, his tone softer. "You're doing an amazing job." "Thank you," Sarah replied, feeling a swell of pride. Being a mom is challenging, but it's the most rewarding experience. They shared a moment of silence, watching as Emma settled back down. Sarah returned to the couch, feeling a renewed sense of determination. "So, when would this all start?" she asked, eager to learn more. "We're looking at next month for the first talk. We want to build momentum leading up to it. There will be interviews, and we'll capture your preparations," he explained. Sarah nodded, feeling a mix of anxiety and excitement. "I'd love to share my story, but I'm not sure I'm ready for that kind of exposure." "I understand," he replied, his eyes thoughtful. "It's a big step. You can take your time, but remember, your story has the power to inspire change." After discussing more details, Sarah felt her initial fears easing. Perhaps this was an opportunity she had been waiting for, a chance to turn her struggles into something beautiful. As the conversation wrapped up, the man stood to leave. "Think about it, Sarah. Your journey can make a difference. Thank you for coming by and for believing in me," Sarah said, feeling grateful. As he stepped outside, She couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of something significant. The unexpected visitor had not only brought news of a speaking opportunity, but had also ignited a spark within her. Sarah closed the door, her heart racing with anticipation. Today had changed everything, and she knew her story was about to unfold in ways she had never imagined. With Emma in her arms and a new path ahead, she felt ready to embrace whatever came next, facing the unknown. The next few days were a whirlwind for Sarah. As she adjusted to the idea of sharing her story, her mind was filled with thoughts of how to inspire others. The visit from the man in the suit had lit a fire in her heart, but doubts lingered in the back of her mind. Was she truly ready to put herself out there? Every morning, she would wake up early, hoping to gather her thoughts. With Emma still sleeping, Sarah would sit by the window, gazing out at the world beyond. The trees swayed gently in the breeze, and she could hear the distant laughter of children playing outside. It was peaceful, yet her heart raced with anxiety. Can I really do this? She wondered aloud, her voice barely a whisper. The idea of sharing her journey with strangers felt both thrilling and terrifying. One afternoon, as she was playing with Emma on the living room floor, her phone buzzed with a message. It was from Maria, checking in on her. Sarah typed back quickly, sharing the news of the speaking opportunity and her mixed feelings about it. Maria responded almost instantly. You've got this, Sarah. Your story is powerful. You can help so many people. Let's meet up this weekend. We can brainstorm ideas for your speech. Feeling the surge of support from her best friend, Sarah smiled. Okay, I can do this, she said to herself. I want to make a difference. That Saturday, they met at a cozy cafe in town. The smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the air as they found a table by the window. Maria's enthusiasm was contagious, and soon Sarah felt her nerves begin to fade. I've been thinking, Maria started, why not begin your speech with your journey? Talk about the challenges you faced as a single mom and how you balanced everything. It's relatable, and people will connect with you. Sarah nodded, jotting down notes as Maria spoke. And don't forget to include the moments of joy too. Like how Emma has changed your life. That's a beautiful part of your story. They spent hours discussing ideas, laughter mixing with serious conversations. Maria encouraged Sarah to share her fears, her triumphs, and the lessons she learned along the way. Remember, Maria said, leaning in with a serious expression, you're not just speaking for yourself. You're speaking for everyone who feels alone, who thinks they can't overcome their struggles. With each passing moment, Sarah's confidence grew. She realized that sharing her story wasn't just about her. It was about empowering others to rise above their challenges. As they wrapped up their meeting, Maria smiled brightly. You're going to be amazing. I can't wait to see you shine on that stage. Thank you for believing in me, Sarah replied, her heart swelling with gratitude. After their meeting, Sarah felt rejuvenated. The more she thought about the speech, the more excited she became. She returned home, ready to start writing. That night, as she worked on her speech, Sarah reflected on her journey. She wrote about the struggles of being a single mother, the fear of failure, and the overwhelming joy that Emma brought into her life. Each word felt like a release, lifting the weight of her worries. As days turned into weeks, Sarah found herself immersed in preparing for the talk. She practiced in front of the mirror, holding Emma and speaking to her as if she were an audience. Emma would giggle and reach out, as if encouraging her mother to continue. But not everything was smooth sailing. As the day of the event approached, Sarah began to feel the pressure mounting. What if she stumbled over her words? What if no one connected with her story? The doubts crept back in like shadows, whispering insecurities into her mind. One evening, she received a call from the man who had visited her earlier. Sarah, I wanted to check in and see how your preparations are going. Are you feeling ready? Honestly, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed, she admitted. What if I fail? Failure is part of the journey, he reassured her. But remember, you have an important message to share. Focus on that. Your vulnerability will make you relatable. People want to hear your truth. After hanging up, Sarah sat quietly for a moment, letting his words sink in. She took a deep breath, reminding herself of why she was doing this. She wasn't just sharing her story, she was offering hope to others. The following day, as she went about her usual routine, Sarah found herself daydreaming about the event. She imagined walking onto the stage, the audience waiting in anticipation. What would they think of her? Would they find her story inspiring? As she thought about the audience, she realized that each person had their own struggles. They might be looking for a spark of hope, just like she had once needed. She felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. Finally, the day of the speaking engagement arrived. Sarah stood in front of the mirror, adjusting her hair and straightening her outfit. She could feel her heart racing. This was it, the moment she had been preparing for. As she made her way to the venue, she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She clutched Emma tightly, drawing strength from the little girl who had motivated her to take this leap. Once inside, the room buzzed with energy. The audience was already seated, their eyes glancing around, waiting for the event to start. As Sarah approached the stage, she felt a rush of adrenaline. Taking a deep breath, she stepped into the spotlight. The moment felt surreal, and she could feel her heartbeat quickening. But as she looked out at the sea of faces, she remembered the purpose behind her journey. With a smile, she began to speak. "Hello everyone, my name is Sarah, and I'm here to share my story with you." In that moment, she knew she was exactly where she was meant to be. The power of connection. As Sarah stood on the stage, the audience's faces blended into a blur. Despite her nerves, she felt a calmness wash over her. Holding her baby, Emma, close, she took a deep breath and let her heart guide her words. Today, I want to share a story about love, strength, and resilience. This is my journey as a single mother. Her voice echoed softly, and the audience leaned in, curious to hear more. She began by sharing her struggles, detailing the sleepless nights, the doubts, and the fears that had once consumed her. The room remained silent, absorbing every word. She spoke about the challenges of balancing work and motherhood, how she often felt overwhelmed, but never alone. Every challenge I faced, Sarah continued, was a stepping stone, teaching me lessons I never knew I needed. She glanced down at Emma, who gurgled happily in her arms. This little girl is my reason to keep fighting. As she shared her experiences, Sarah could see nods of understanding from the audience. A few tears were wiped away, and she realized that many in the room had faced their own battles. The power of connection began to weave a bond between her and the audience, one that transcended words. When she reached the part of her story about the man in the suit who had inspired her, a wave of emotion washed over her. His belief in me lit a spark I thought was long gone. It reminded me that we all need someone to lift us up sometimes. At this moment, she could see some faces in the crowd light up, recognition flickering in their eyes. It was as if her words were resonating with their own experiences, creating a shared understanding. As Sarah continued, she felt empowered by their reactions. I realized that vulnerability is not a weakness, it is a strength. By sharing our struggles, we inspire others to do the same. With each passing minute, she became more confident. The nerves that once gripped her transformed into passion. She looked around the room, connecting with individuals through their expressions. Some smiled, others had tears streaming down their cheeks. Sarah began to share the joyous moments too. Emma taught me that every small victory matters, she said, smiling at her daughter. From her first smile to her first steps, every milestone is a reminder that life is beautiful, even amidst chaos. The audience began to respond. A man in the back wiped his eyes, and a woman nodded vigorously, as if echoing Sarah's sentiments. Yes, she mouthed, inspiring Sarah to delve deeper into her message. As Sarah reached the conclusion of her speech, she felt a surge of gratitude. Today, I stand before you not just as a mother, but as a woman who has faced her fears and come out stronger. I encourage each of you to share your stories too. You never know who might need to hear them." A round of applause erupted, filling the room with warmth. Sarah's heart swelled with pride and relief. She had done it. She had shared her truth, and in return, the audience had shared their support. As she stepped off the stage, she felt a rush of emotions: joy, relief, and an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. Maria rushed to her side, beaming with pride. "You were incredible, Sarah. I knew you could do it." "Thank you, Maria," she replied, her voice still shaky from the adrenaline. "I can't believe I just did that." Suddenly, a few audience members approached her, their faces glowing with appreciation. A young woman, tears in her eyes, hugged Sarah tightly. "Your story inspired me. I'm going through a tough time, but you gave me hope. Thank you." Sarah felt a wave of emotion wash over her. In that moment, she understood the true power of sharing her story. She was not just speaking for herself. She was giving a voice to those who felt voiceless. Throughout the evening, Sarah received more messages of thanks and encouragement. People wanted to connect with her, to share their stories, and to express how her words had touched them. Feeling a sense of community, Sarah realized that her journey was just beginning. This event had opened up new possibilities, not only for herself, but for others who shared similar paths. As she packed up her things, Sarah reflected on everything that had happened that day. She had faced her fears and emerged stronger. She was no longer just a single mother. She was a beacon of hope for others. When she finally returned home, Emma was asleep, her tiny body curled up peacefully in her crib. Sarah smiled, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "We did it, little one." As she settled down on the couch, she felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. She had not only shared her story, but had also built connections with those who needed it most. Looking forward, Sarah was excited about what lay ahead. She knew she wanted to continue sharing her journey, helping others find their own strength. With a heart full of hope and determination, she realized that this was just the beginning of a beautiful adventure. The connection she had made with her audience fueled her passion to inspire even more people, and she couldn't wait to see where this path would lead her next. The unexpected visitor. The following day, Sarah woke up feeling energized and hopeful. The events of the previous day still lingered in her mind, and she was determined to keep that momentum going. She wanted to follow through with her promise to inspire others, and the thought excited her. After getting Emma ready for the day, Sarah decided to take a stroll in the nearby park. The sun shone brightly, and the gentle breeze was refreshing. As she walked, she felt a sense of freedom, as if she were stepping into a new chapter of her life. The morning was filled with laughter from children playing and couples enjoying their time together. Sarah couldn't help but smile. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. It was a text from Maria. "You were amazing yesterday. I have an idea. Let's host a support group for single mothers. I think it could really help." Sarah's heart raced at the thought. The idea of creating a community for women like her sparked something within her. She quickly replied, "I love it. Let's meet and plan it out." Excited, she headed home to brainstorm ideas with Maria. The thought of helping others inspired her, and she was eager to dive into this new project. Later that afternoon, as Sarah sat on the couch with Emma playing nearby, she received another unexpected message. This time, it was from an unknown number. "Hi Sarah, this is Jennifer. I saw your speech yesterday, and I was truly moved. I'd love to talk. Can we meet?" Sarah was intrigued. Who was Jennifer? How did she hear about her? Curiosity piqued, she decided to respond. "Sure, I'd love to meet. When are you available?" Within minutes, they had arranged to meet the following day at a local coffee shop. Sarah felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. She wondered what Jennifer wanted to discuss. The next day, Sarah arrived at the coffee shop early. She ordered her usual latte and settled at a table near the window, watching the world go by. A few minutes later, a woman in her early 30s entered, scanning the room. When their eyes met, Jennifer smiled and walked over. "Hi, "You must be Sarah," she said, extending her hand. "Hi. Yes, that's me." "Nice to meet you," Sarah replied, shaking her hand. They sat down, and after exchanging pleasantries, Jennifer got straight to the point. "I wanted to talk to you because I'm also a single mother. I'm currently going through a tough time, and your speech really inspired me. It made me realize I'm not alone." Sarah felt a wave of empathy wash over her. "I completely understand. It can be really challenging sometimes." Jennifer nodded, her expression serious. "I've been struggling to find a support system. I work full-time and take care of my son, but it feels overwhelming. I saw how you connected with the audience. I want that too, but I don't know where to start." "Maria and I are actually planning to start a support group for single mothers," Sarah said, her excitement growing. "You're more than welcome to join us." Jennifer's face lit up. "Really? That sounds amazing. I'd love to be a part of it." As they talked, Sarah learned more about Jennifer's journey. She shared her challenges, her dreams, and her hopes for a better future for her son. The conversation flowed easily, and Sarah felt a genuine connection with Jennifer. It reminded her of the bond she had formed with the audience after her speech. After an hour of sharing their stories and laughter, Jennifer said, "Thank you for being so open. It's comforting to talk to someone who understands. I really think we can create something special together." "Absolutely. We can make a difference," Sarah replied, feeling more determined than ever. As they exchanged contact information, Sarah noticed a warmth in her heart. This unexpected meeting had opened a new door, not just for her but for Jennifer as well. She knew that together they could help others find strength and hope. After they parted ways, Sarah returned home, her mind buzzing with ideas. She envisioned a support group filled with laughter, understanding, and shared experiences. It could be a safe space where mothers could come together, share their challenges, and inspire one another. Later that evening, while putting Emma to bed, Sarah felt a sense of fulfillment. She reflected on how far she had come since that day of graduation. She had transformed from a nervous speaker to someone who was ready to take action and create a community. As Sarah settled down on the couch, she thought about the impact her speech had on others. It was more than just her journey. It had become a catalyst for change. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for the unexpected visitor who had come into her life. With a smile on her face, she whispered to herself, "I'm ready for this new chapter." The thought of starting the support group and helping other mothers filled her with hope and excitement. In that moment, Sarah understood that the connections she made were powerful. They had the potential to uplift not only her, but also others who needed support. She was eager to see where this journey would lead her next, knowing that she was not alone in her quest for hope and connection. A new beginning. The days following her meeting with Jennifer were filled with excitement and purpose. Sarah and Maria worked tirelessly to organize the first meeting for their support group. They created flyers, set up a social media page, and reached out to other single mothers in the community. The response was overwhelming, and Sarah could hardly believe how many women were eager to join. On the day of the first meeting, Sarah woke up early, her heart racing with anticipation. She wanted everything to go perfectly. She prepared snacks, set up the chairs in a circle, and made sure the room felt warm and inviting. Emma was at her side, giggling as she played with her toys while Sarah busily arranged the space. When the time finally arrived, Sarah felt a mixture of nerves and excitement. As the women began to arrive, she greeted each one with a warm smile. Some looked shy, while others wore expressions of curiosity. Sarah introduced herself and explained the purpose of the group, to create a safe haven where they could share their stories and support one another. As everyone settled in, Sarah looked around the room and felt a rush of emotion. Here were women from different backgrounds, each with their own struggles and triumphs. She could sense the camaraderie forming as they exchanged glances and smiled at one another. Once everyone was present, Sarah took a deep breath and began. "Thank you all for coming today. I'm so grateful to see each of you here. We're all on different journeys, but together, we can find strength in our shared experiences. The atmosphere shifted as women started to share their stories. Some spoke of their struggles as single mothers, the challenges they faced daily, and the dreams they held close to their hearts. Sarah listened intently, offering support and encouragement as each woman took her turn. The bond they formed grew stronger with each shared experience, laughter, and tear. When it was Jennifer's turn, she spoke with honesty about her fears and aspirations. "I often feel overwhelmed, but I want my son to see that we can rise above our struggles. I believe that together, we can support each other in this journey." As she finished speaking, Sarah noticed several women nodding in agreement. It was clear that Jennifer's words resonated deeply with everyone. Sarah felt a swell of pride for what they were creating, a community built on trust and compassion. After the first round of sharing, Sarah introduced a fun icebreaker activity. They took turns sharing a positive affirmation or something they were grateful for. Laughter filled the room as they shared silly stories and heartfelt moments. Sarah felt a warmth envelop the group, transforming the initial nerves into genuine connection. As the meeting came to an end, Sarah noticed that the energy in the room had shifted. The women who had entered feeling uncertain were now smiling and chatting with one another. It was evident that they had forged a bond, and Sarah felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her.